Are you tired of paying an ear and a nose for cold email mailboxes every single month? Well, imagine if there was a way to set up unlimited cold email mailboxes in minutes with zero additional fees. Well, there's an industry secret that cold email companies don't want you to know about. And in this video, I'm gonna be pissing all of them off because I'm gonna be showing you step by step how to create unlimited mailboxes for cold email or otherwise, absolutely free. With this method, you can set up thousands of cold email mailboxes without racking up hundreds of dollars or thousands in monthly bills. Now I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and walk you through exactly how to set this up and what tool to use. And if you find this video valuable, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel unless you hate money. Like this video and drop a comment. So before I show you the step-by-step, let me just kind of explain how this method works. And then at the end, I'll get into whether I recommend it and who it's actually going to be good for. But let's look at companies like Inframail. This is not a company I use, but it is one I'm familiar with. And they offer something that sounds too good to be true for cold emailers. It's an unlimited plan for $99 a month where you can set up unlimited email mailboxes, and there's tons of these companies. And a lot of times clients will ask me if this is a good mailbox infrastructure because they're all going to claim to be good. They're all going to claim to have great deliverability. So how the heck are they able to do it for $99 a month for unlimited mailboxes? Well, it's actually the same method that I'm going to teach you so you can bypass these companies and actually do it yourself and do it even better than they do. So the important thing to look at here is the number of IPs. So they say one dedicated IP ready to go. So you could have 10 mailboxes, 100 mailboxes, 1,000, 10,000 mailboxes, all sending from the same one IP address. And you can increase their plan to $250 a month and get 3 IP addresses. Now here's the thing. When you set up a new plan with one of these companies, they're basically spinning up a server with a unique IP address that is brand new. That IP address has 0 authority, 0 trust, which means you need to build it up in order to have excellent deliverability. And sometimes when you start these servers from scratch, they don't have any history. And because of that, the emails will go through to the inbox for a period of time until they don't. And the drawback to the method I'm going to be teaching you is if you're not good at cold email, you can burn this IP really quickly. If your emails are getting reported as spam or you're sending emails without proper DNS records and authentication, you're going to get reported as spam, your emails are going to bounce, and then your IP address is going to have really low trust and none of your emails are going to go to the inbox. Whereas if you use something like Google or Microsoft, they're going to be in charge of rotating those IP addresses, so they always stay clean and deliverability stays excellent. So that's kind of how these mailboxes work. We call them SMTP mailboxes. They use a single IP address typically, and your deliverability is going to greatly be determined by that IP address. Okay, so now that you understand, let's go into how to actually do this for yourself. First thing you're going to need is some domains. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one here, insidersoffer.com. And I'm going to be transferring that over to a place where I can create those mailboxes for free. And if you need any help buying domains in bulk for cold email, Spaceship is one of my favorite places to do it. I've got a whole video dedicated to it, but it really doesn't matter where you buy your domains from. In fact, you don't even have to buy them elsewhere. You can buy them in the platform that I'm going to be talking about. But if you want to do it in bulk and save some money, I definitely recommend Spaceship. All right, now the website that you're going to be using to set your mailboxes up in bulk for free is called SiteGround. And there's a few different websites where you can actually do this as well. One of the ones I used to teach was called Green Geeks. So at siteground.com, there's going to be a link to sign up for a discount down below. So if you go into the description, you should see that link there, and it'll bring you to SiteGround. Now I know I said free, and it's basically free. There's no additional fees every month for the mailboxes. So it's not free, but basically $4.99 a month. That's for 12 months. Now my math's not great, but that's about $60 for the entire year for unlimited cold email mailboxes. And the more you create, it's no additional cost, which is the free part. So what you're gonna need is at least this Grow Big plan. You're gonna come into web hosting and you're gonna select this Grow Big plan. The reason being, you get to add unlimited websites and it comes with free email. These are the two most important things here. Now, you're not going to be using this for actual web hosting, so your monthly visits doesn't really matter, and you should not need this bigger plan, even though it is still unbelievably affordable. So you'll go ahead and grab this plan and you'll have an account that looks like this once you sign up. And I'm not going to walk you through the entire setup process, but here's what the back-end dashboard looks like. You have websites, you have domains, you have email marketing, and it's going to be really easy for me to get my domains from any registrar, SiteGround, Cloudflare, put them in here and set up mailboxes. So I'm going to walk you through that step by step. Let's go ahead and open up websites. Now imagine this was blank. I'm going to go ahead and hit new website here. Now, if you already purchased this domain elsewhere, GoDaddy or Namecheap or Spaceship, then you'll select existing domain. You also have the option to set it up right here inside of SiteGround. And this is actually going to be the easiest way. But if you already have the domain elsewhere, this is what I'm going to be walking you through because this is what I recommend doing. You're going to go ahead and select existing domain, and then you're going to type that domain that you want to transfer over. In this case, it's going to be insidersoffer.com. So let's go ahead and put that in and hit continue. It's going to bring me to an option to set up site or add extras. Remember, this is designed for website hosting. Now, we're not going to be using it for that. We're going to be using it for their email infrastructure. So I'm going to go ahead and skip and create blank site. It's going to try and do some upsells. We're going to skip those and hit finish. Now it says creating my site. It's going to take a few seconds to go ahead and add this into my SiteGround account. So let's give that a minute to propagate. All right, that actually only took a few seconds, and it says I'm all set. My website has been created. Check out the tips on how to proceed. Now, a couple really important things here. One, I have to point my domain to SiteGround. If you're unfamiliar with name servers, you have a domain register where you purchase that domain, and then from there you can control what that domain does, what it talks to, and where it's managed. The name servers tell your domain where it's managed. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab this first name server here, come back into my Spaceship where my domain is currently hosted, and I'm going to click name servers and DNS. If you have a different domain registrar like GoDaddy or Namecheap, you might have to click into the domain and navigate around, but you're going to find where your name servers are located. I'm going to go ahead and change these name servers from Spaceship name servers to custom name servers. And I'm just going to paste those name servers in. So we got 1 and we got 2. We're going to save those name server settings, and we're going to do yes, change to custom DNS. Now, important note here, full propagation can take up to 48 hours. In my experience, it's usually done in 5 to 10 minutes, but it can take some time. So if you're not seeing your domain showing up in SiteGround right away, or it's not working the way that you see in this video, you may just need to wait a few minutes or a few hours until it does. But as you can see, my name servers have now been updated. So let's come back into my SiteGround and go ahead and click Site Tools. Now we are inside of this domain in SiteGround. So we're gonna do a quick check and see if it's actually hosted in SiteGround now, if the propagation is done. Let's come down into Domains and DNS Zone Editor. Now remember, the DNS records are those little pieces of code and text that you have to add to your domain to authenticate it, meaning this is owned by you, these are sending good emails. Things like your DMARC record, your DKIM record are going to be required in order for you to enhance your deliverability. So if you haven't already added those, now you're going to do that inside of SiteGround. So DMARC, DKIM record, SPF record, all of those things need to be present so that you can send good emails that don't go to spam. As you can see, I've already got a DMARC record in here. I think they may have added that for me. We've got an SPF record, and what we don't have is a DKIM record. And if you guys are ever struggling with DNS records, there's a really great resource. It's called easydmarc.com, where you can just come into tools, it's completely free, and actually generate a DMARC, a SPF, a DKIM record. You can scan your domain for free to make sure that it actually has all of the records that you need, and it will tell you exactly what to do. And here you can see insidersoffer.com is pointed to SiteGround. So it looks like the propagation is complete. Now we're ready to set up some of those mailboxes completely free. Now, even though we can set up as many mailboxes as we want, there's not a lot of rules here, we still want to limit the number of mailboxes per domain. Because remember, there's a couple things that affect deliverability: the IP health and the domain health. The mailbox health is secondary. What I recommend doing is no more than 5 mailboxes per domain. So if you want 50 mailboxes, you're gonna need 10 domains. You're gonna have to add multiple domains following the exact steps that we just followed. So you're gonna wanna confirm your DNS are set up correctly, and then we can come back to the dashboard and we can start setting up those email accounts. So you'll see from that DNS zone editor, it actually added some MX records and stuff, which is gonna allow us to send emails from the SiteGround servers. Let's come into email accounts, and from here we can start actually configuring those email accounts. Now, a couple things to note on this page. The email configuration, this is the IMAP and the SMTP. SMTP sends, IMAP receives. Now right now it's still got these templated server names. And if I come in to another one of my domains that's been added to SiteGround, and you can see all these mailboxes that I've created already, the incoming server and outgoing server actually have branded server names. So it's the same domain as the one that I'm setting up, which tells me that propagation is not yet finished. So what we're gonna wanna do is wait until it is. Wait until you're seeing those incoming and outgoing servers actually reflect the name of the domain. You go ahead and check one more, leadgenj.com. We can see the incoming server and outgoing server have the same name. So let's go ahead and create an email account in here. So let's go ahead and do j.feldman@leadgenj.com, and then we're gonna go ahead and enter a password. I just recommend using the same password for all of them so you can easily remember those passwords. And I actually don't think it likes my password, so I'm gonna go ahead and click generate and just let it do a password for me and copy that. So let's go ahead and create that mailbox, j.feldman@leadgenj.com. There we go, and it has been created. And as you can see, now it's listed right up top, and this is the usage and quota that it's reaching. You can always reset those quotas if necessary. And as you can see, that was free. It took 2 seconds. I didn't have to do anything additional, and I can set up as many as I want inside of this domain. So where are these mailboxes actually located, and how do you load them into your cold email platform like instantly? It's actually really easy, so let me show you. These mailboxes are hosted in SiteGround. This is where all the data goes. So if I click on these 3 dots to the right of the mailbox, I can actually log in to that mailbox in webmail, which is just a really simple email interface where I can send and receive emails. Just so you can see this thing is working, you can actually compose emails in here and send them. So if you ever want to do a quick deliverability check, you can just go ahead and send an email to yourself. Let's do j@leadgenj.com, subject test, and then I'll put test in the body as well. And just to see that this thing can actually send and receive emails. So it looks like it went out. We've got a date stamp, a time stamp. But I can confirm that that email was delivered to me. It went through straight to the inbox and skipped spam, which is what you're looking for. Okay, so that is how you access these email addresses, but you should never actually have to do that. Let's come back into Site Tools, click on those 3 dots again. That's how you log into webmail. Now what I'm looking for here is mail configuration, because this is the information that's going to be used to populate those mailboxes into your Instantly AI or whatever your cold email service is. You're gonna need your server name, you're gonna need your ports, and you're gonna need your username and password. And that's one of the reasons I recommend using the same password for all of your mailboxes, because you're gonna be able to put these into a Google Sheet and just import them into your Instantly AI. If I wanted to add mailboxes into my Instantly AI, I can come into my mailboxes section, email accounts, click add new, and to get these into your platform, all you have to do is say connect existing accounts. You're gonna do any provider. Remember, this is IMAP SMTP, and then you can actually bulk import them from CSV. Now for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna do any provider single account, and it's going to ask me for the address. Here you're just gonna basically copy all the information from those site tools. So let's come into mail configuration, and you'll see these here. Now the good news is it's gonna be the same for all of the mailboxes in this domain. So right now I'm setting up this mailbox. Let's go ahead and copy that. The IMAP password, this is going to be the password that you set at the beginning. Luckily I copy and pasted that. The IMAP host, which is the incoming server. Then the port by default should be set to 993, which in this case is correct. Let's go to next. Now it wants the SMTP password. That is also going to be the same. The SMTP host, which is also the same. And then just confirm the port is correct. 587, 465. Good thing we caught that. We're gonna leave the reply to off and then go ahead and connect the account. SMTP successful, connected. That worked like a charm. All right, good. Account already added. So let's go ahead and hit back and let's see if it was in fact added successfully. All right, there it is. It's been connected to my Instantly account successfully. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it because I actually don't want that in my Otter PR Instantly account. Now, if you wanted to do this in bulk, it's actually really easy. And that's actually one of the benefits of using something like Inframail is at the end, once you've set up those mailboxes, they just give you a CSV file with all the info you need. So if you're doing this my way to save some money, you're going to need to make that CSV file yourself. So let's come into add new again, any provider, import from CSV, and then they actually give you a sample CSV. So coming to that tab on the bottom, this is the information that they need. Now, the good news is that a lot of it's going to be exactly the same. Let's go ahead and make a copy so I can edit this thing. Now remember, the names are pretty much always going to be the same. First name, last name. The IMAP username is always going to be the same. So let's go ahead and put that IMAP username. The password, which I already copied, is this guy here. The password is always going to be the same. And I made a mistake. The IMAP username is not this. The IMAP username is actually my email address. This is the IMAP host, and it's also the SMTP host. So the username is going to be my email, and my email is going to be my email. All right, IMAP port. Let's go and grab that one. That's 993. IMAP port 993. SMTP username. It's also going to be my email. SMTP password. It's also going to be the password. SMTP port 465, and then you're just going to grab the email addresses that you want to set up. So let's go ahead and copy that one, put it here, put it here. God, I hate Google Sheets. If you put it up here, it doesn't corrode anything else. SMTP username, boom. Now let's finish this up by giving Instantly the information that it wants so that we can import them in bulk. You can either leave this blank and then do it inside of the Instantly platform, or you can fill this out now. I'm going to go ahead and leave it blank because I think it's really easy just to come inside of Instantly, select all, and configure those warm-up settings. And there's additional settings that I like to do that are not offered on this sheet. Now the beautiful thing about this is I can just click this and drag all the way down. I can click these and drag all the way down, and these and drag all the way down. The other thing I can do is set equations. So I can do, instead of pasting my email 3 times, I could do equals that key, and then drag all the way down. And then as we input more stuff here, it'll just reflect all the way down. And then let's do the same thing on this side. So equals that first row, and then drag all the way down. Now all we have to do is go down the list and fill in the email addresses that we want to set up. And then we can export and import this sheet into Instantly. Once you're done, you'll go ahead and download this as a CSV file, and then upload that CSV file into your Instantly AI. All right, now a couple words of caution about using this method and using any private SMTP mailbox provider in general. As I kind of mentioned earlier, the IP address is really important. The reputation on that IP address is very important. So who do I recommend actually uses a methodology like this? And if you are going to use this, what are some things that you should keep in mind and consider? Well, the IP reputation is one of the most important factors in your email deliverability. If that IP reputation drops, the reputation and the deliverability of your entire account is going to be at risk. This is one of the reasons I always recommend using Google Mailboxes, because even though it costs a little bit of money every month, Google's in charge of keeping those IP addresses clean with high reputation. And if you get reported as spam a few times and your IP address gets blacklisted, Google will automatically rotate that out and give you a better IP address to send from. So if you're newer at cold email, or you don't have a proven offer and copy, and you're not sure if your cold emails are going to work or they're going to get reported as spam, then you probably should not be using this method. This is going to be good for people that want a cold email at scale that are really talented and experienced with cold email. If you try and do this as a beginner, not only are your emails all going to start going to spam at the same time, because 1, people are reporting them as spam, but 2, your emails are probably going to be bouncing. And these are all things that are going to lower the reputation of that IP address. And it's going to be frustrating for you, and I don't want you to blame me. So if you're experienced and you have a proven offer and you know that your cold emails are not going to get reported as spam, then you can give this a try and add it into your rotation of other mailboxes. I definitely don't recommend this being your only solution, because there is a real chance that your IP reputation drops and now your entire cold email system stops working. And that's not just a risk with using things like SiteGround. That's a risk with any of these platforms where you can get an IP address and set up unlimited email accounts. This is only for those that have a lot of experience and want to save some money on scaling their cold email infrastructure. Now, why use something like this instead of something like InforMail or Mail-In or MailGuard? Well, this is giving you a dedicated IP address, and this is actually using a shared IP address. So the IP addresses that you're using in SiteGround are actually shared amongst other users, and those other users probably aren't using them for cold email, which means you actually get to share the history and reputation of those shared IP addresses with other people that have been around for a lot longer. longer. So you may actually notice your results are better using SiteGround as opposed to something like Inframail. However, the other thing to look out for when using something like SiteGround or Green Geeks to do unlimited cold email infrastructure is your account is at their will. Even though they know that I'm using their services to do cold email, I'm a customer, I've been doing this for quite a long time, I've actually talked to them about it. If you're abusing it, meaning you're ruining their IP addresses because you're getting reported as spam, they have the right to kick you off of their platform. So you're not just at risk of your IP address reputation going down and your emails going to spam, you're also at risk of getting kicked off and banned from these platforms altogether, which is one more reason for you to only do something like this in addition to your regular cold email mailboxes, which is going to be Google. I'm going to show you what to do, and if you're a real expert in cold email. Now, what I recommend doing if you're thinking about cold email infrastructure and you want to save as much money as possible, come to leadgenj.com/inbox, and you'll see kind of our email setup service. We use Google. It's only $3 per month per mailbox. We'll actually buy the domains, configure them for you, load them into your Instantly account. And unlike using something like Instantly to set up your cold email mailboxes, they own those domains, they own the mailboxes, you can never transfer them out. We actually have support to help you transfer them out, give you the domains, give you access to the mailboxes, support them if something goes wrong, all for an insanely low price of $3 per month per mailbox. And by the way, you can also waive the setup fees. It's $5 per mailbox, one-time setup fee, unless you're part of our Insiders program, which has a lot more industry secrets like this, as well as playbooks and advanced stuff for every single industry. So if you really want to get cold email right, you need to be part of our Insiders program. You can just come to leadgenj.com/insiders to get more information about that program. The price is about to go up, so I definitely recommend getting on board soon. We've got lead databases, we've got software you can access, as well as a lot of other industry secrets like this that are too sensitive for YouTube. The other way to waive those setup fees is to use my affiliate link to sign up for Instantly AI. So it's going to guide you through that, and here's the option here. This is for new Instantly AI users only. If you use our affiliate link, we will actually refund those setup fees for you one time only. Most importantly, if you found value here, you need to be subscribed to the channel. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. It means a lot, and it lets me know that you appreciate me putting content like this that I would normally reserve only for my insiders out for YouTube. Show your appreciation. Give me a thanks. I'd love to know in the comments if you're using something like this. If you have any questions, drop them down there. And please subscribe to the channel unless you hate money. I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully in the Insiders program.